Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, to a very special video because it pertains to one half of the Binary Brothers, our boy Demetri. Now I know what you're thinking. You thought I was gonna say Eli Moskowitz or Hawk. I was about to say Hawk. No, we're gonna be talking a little bit about Demetri. And one of the things that I've been sort of stressing with Demetri's arc as of late is, I know in the earlier seasons people didn't really take to Demetri. They called him the Jar Jar of the show, which is something I respectfully disagree with. Because if you look at Cobra Kai as a whole, if there is one character who fits what the Karate Kid mythos is about, it's Demetri. If these were the movies, Demetri or Miguel would be the pick. You know, as much as Hawk's cool, as much as Robbie's my guy, Demetri and Miguel would be the two I would say would be most likely to be leading the line in terms of arc. Because if you look at the context of Demetri's background to where he is now, he's only evolving and getting better. Now, if you're a Harry Potter fan, you know this. The Neville Longbottom of this show, by a country mile. Neville Longbottom started that movie series and the book series as a frightened kid who was afraid of everything, and then by the end of it evolved into an absolute badass leader. It was just such an underrated arc that when you see it come together and that Neville takes out one of Voldemort's Horcruxes, I was like, woof! Go on, son! So I expect the same for Demetri, and by the end of this show, I would say Demetri has the potential to be on the same level as Robbie, Miguel, Hawk, and Sam. I truly believe that. I think that Demetri has that kind of arc where it's not front and center like those guys, but it adds to the it adds to the weight of the show. It adds to the nuance of where we're going and where we've been. And Gianni was made for this role. He plays Demetri so well. Like, that's the thing with Cobra Kai. Every person is perfectly casted. Like, sometimes I can't tell whether it's Demetri or whether it's Gianni. Like, it's so, like, they're so intertwined. Like, the casting was spot on. But Demetri has just come such a long way, and you know, for those that called him the Jar Jar of the show, for me personally, I thought his one-liners in season 1 were hilarious. I thought his one-liners in season 2 were hilarious, and then as soon as that Maul fight happened, or no, not even that, before that, when he tried joining Cobra Kai again, I was like, this guy's gonna go to Miyagi-Do 100%. And when I see him at Miyagi-Do at the end, I'm like, oi, here we go, the underdog rises. And by the end of the season, he puts Hawk in the trophy case. Now, context and nuance are important here, okay? And it was just an excuse for me to say my phrase again. But it's important to remember, in a one-on-one fight, Hawk would cream Demetri. Absolutely cream him. However, he was caught off guard. He didn't expect Demetri to pull it off. And it's because Demetri had confidence in himself to pull that move off. And even in the arcade fight, you can see Demetri isn't fully like there. He's like 80% there. I'd say he's about 20%, 30% away from where he could be. He's not fully confident in himself just yet. And I think we're gearing for that. We're absolutely gearing for that from the season 3 finale onwards, when he lays down the law on both the dojos and says, "Hey pussies," and gives the speech. Neville Longbottom vibes. Absolute vibes. And he's evolved as a leader. Sensei dispute resolution protocol, you know, post-training snacks and all that kind of stuff. He's evolved as a leader. And I think Daniel and him have one of the most underrated sort of bonds of the show. Not necessarily the scene where he's like, "Did you like having your arm broken, Demetri? Because if you defend like that, you're going to be right back in that cast before you know it." Oh! But I'm talking about the bit in season 2, and it's one of my favorite parts of season 2, is when he tries training Demetri, and Demetri is so, like, neurotic about it. He's so like, "Oh, I can't do it. And then he takes his time with Demetri, and Demetri starts to believe in himself, and then eventually starts to get better by taking his time. It's brilliant. I love it. I love everything about it. And taking his time with Demetri is what's so key to Demetri's arc, is that he requires a lot of patience. And look at him now. I'm telling you 100%. Demetri, right, the song "You're the Best Around," right, if you're gonna bring it back in the show, has to play when Demetri knocks out Kyler, or something like that. It's gotta play on Demetri. Please, like, it's perfect. Like, I think it is absolutely perfect that song would play on someone like Demetri. And I cannot wait to see where Demetri goes towards the end of the show. his arc from beginning to now is so fascinating to me. And Demetri I use as a prime example of people that, you know, hate characters and they, you know, rail against them. And then when the character starts to fulfill their long-term arc, they start to like them. And I keep telling people this. Don't be surprised if you start liking Demetri even more. Like, I think Demetri's going to continue to grow and go from strength to strength to strength. Demetri has got it in his lifeblood. He's got it in his bones now. And I feel like he's developed as a leader, and I feel like he's only going to get better. And his confidence is going to go from 70 to 100%. And he got himself Yasmin. I mean, come on. Like, I mean, coming from Season 1, look where he is now. He got himself Yasmin. He got himself a dime, you know. My man Demetri's making moves. You know, he's come a long way from, you know, happy birthday! To, you know, like a sexual Venn diagram, you know. I'm sorry, his one-liners are brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I don't know if Gianni will ever see this, but Gianni, you absolutely make this character who he is. Like, this is, you do a bang-up job. And as far as where Demetri goes for Season 5 and 6, who knows? But the one thing I'll say about Demetri, that as much as he could be a bit of an annoying kind of, you know, mouthy kind of guy, despite everything Hawk did to him, how quickly did he forgive him? Literally instantaneously. He forgave him instantaneously. He was like, I'm just happy to have my friend home. You know? And that was what was in Season 2. And I might do a video on that. But that was one of the things in Season 2 that I loved. Is like, you know, do you want to be here, Demetri? Not really. You know, he's like, I've been less than popular, but at least I had a few friends. And then Cobra Kai comes to town and now they're all alpha jerks. I'm literally being threatened by my own best friend. You know, and then in the mall, he says, you'd actually hurt me? Like, this whole thing has taken such a toll on him to where he's had no choice but to join the fight. But him doing that has allowed him to be true to himself. And I think that's one of the reasons why Hawk came home. Is because if you look at Hawk and Demetri, Hawk railed against his nerd life and took the other route. Demetri embraces his nerd life and still continues to be a badass. Like, that's... like, they run polar opposites, you know? And now Hawk will be like, okay, so Demetri's still true to his nerd stuff, but he's a badass now. Ooh, okay, I like this. I'm starting to be persuaded. You know, and you can see before the... at the house party, before the finale in Season 2, when they're talking about Doctor Who, like, Eli was still in there, and Demetri was one of the ones who always believed it. Always. And I think, even when Season 3 kicks off, you know, he can still see through Hawk's, you know, facade and BS. You know, even in Season 1, he's like, oh, calm down, Hawk. You know, I hear how you're saying it, and I don't like it. You know, all that kind of stuff. And I think Demetri just has this, like, wave of... He doesn't want to see anyone hurt. He wants people to be happy, and he wants people to be fulfilled. And that's one of the things that I'm really enjoying about his character, and where he can go from here. Guys and girls, you know the drill. Jump in the comment section. Tell me your favourite Demetri moment. Tell me what you expect for Demetri going forward. Tell me what stands out for you in the show. What's his standout moment for you? For me, without a doubt, he's got many. But his one, for me, that sticks out like a sore thumb is his speech in Season 3's finale. You know, not the... I'd even watched the one with that creepy little elf or whatever. Elf dentist. Not that one. That was funny, but not that one. It's the one where he lays down the law to both dojos, and he organizes it and says, right, so where do we start? That is progression, and that's one of the best things that Cobra Kai does, is it has characters who aren't even the main characters as such, have such a progression and such an arc to them, that it adds to it. So when Miguel or Robbie or Sam aren't around, and you've got Demetri, you're not bored, you're still invested. That's one of the things this show does so well. So, guys and girls, jump in the comment section, and the tagline for this video is going to be, I'm ready to add some moves to my repertoire.